Hi, my name's Chris Caesar. I'm a landscape photographer based out of my gallery here in York. Over the past week or so, I've been running a series of short videos highlighting the papers made by Canson as part of their Canson Infinity range and trying to talk about why I use those papers for certain types of my images. In today's video, we're going to be looking at this paper, which is the new upgraded Baryta Photographique 2, which surprisingly replaces Baryta Photographique 1, and it's part of the Canson Infinity collection. So we're going to have a look at the print itself, have a little chat about the composition, what sort of went into the making of the image, and then we're going to have a look at the paper, and I'm going to explain a little bit why I feel that the paper works well for this image. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the image. This is an image made up at Rannoch Moor in Scotland. And I like this image. There's a dynamism to it. If you look, there's kind of a little cross shape going on. You've got this water here coming in on a slight diagonal line, which seems to lead across the central rocks up to the mountain. And then going the other way, you've got these rocks here that lead in, again crossing the central rock and seeming to go out on this little stripe up here in the sky. Also, it's a long exposure. And if you look at the sky, this was a day when the clouds were moving towards us. So I thought it might be nice to make it a long exposure because the clouds would have the effect of adding some kind of lines in the sky that would then help you get back to the centre of the picture. So if you look, all of these lines seem to come to this central area as well. So everything seems balanced around the centre, but everything's nice and balanced in the picture with lots of things to look at. So in the corners we've got interest, but up here we've got this interesting bit of cloud. The journey itself is lovely. You come through, obviously starting wherever you want to start. We've got this lovely arc of rocks here, full of detail, some lovely colours here in the moss, and then we get up to this beautiful mountain that's got the sun catching it, and then we finish off with that powerful sky. So that's the composition. It's an area that I know well because when I run the courses up in Rannoch Moor, this is one of the places we go to, and if we're lucky we get a nice morning when we've got some water flowing over all of these rocks. So that was a particularly good morning, a particularly good result. So that's the image. Okay, so let's have a little look at the paper. This is, as I said earlier, brand new off the press. This is the new upgraded Baryta Photographique paper from Canson. So the original one had a lot of followers, a lot of people really liked what it offered, and I think all they've done is tweaked it a little bit, and all of the things that you liked before are now just a little bit finer, a little bit better. So this is quite an exciting paper to be using because it's an enhancement of something that was already proven to be a successful product. The paper itself, if I was going to tell you some of the things that are different about this to the other papers that I've been using, the thing that's exciting about this one is that it's a Baryta paper, it's 100% barium sulfate coating, but it's exceptionally smooth. So it's not just smooth, you won't see it on the video, so you'll have to take my word for it. It's got an exceptionally smooth feel, and it's not a full gloss. I did say in the video the other day that the full glosses, the ones that look really wet and like the paper's covered in water, I never really seem to use those for whatever reason, but I do use satin papers, and this is a satin paper. So it's like a semi-gloss with an exceptionally smooth surface and all the benefits of barium sulfate. It's quite a high white as well, so anything we've got in the images that are bright and white, maybe these areas of water or perhaps some white clouds, will be printed more closely to what they are in reality. Some of the papers are a little bit warmer and they will just warm up those areas, whereas this tries to maintain a sort of bright whiteness to the actual printed results. So the paper has got quite a few features that would make it worthy of adding to anyone's collection, but for me this paper is going to be of fantastic value when I want to get something down on a gloss media that has no speckles, so no distractions. So these smooth areas here render smooth, but albeit with a sort of a semi-gloss satin finish. It's got a nice feel, it's heavy, it's 310 grams a square metre, so it's going to hang nice when it's mounted and hung in frames. And that's it really. You can see exceptional colour detail, great range of sort of tones across the blacks and greys area, and it's a pleasure to use. So it's a nice paper, it's something I've added to my collection, it's something that I'll be looking to use in the future. Okay, so that's a bit about Baryta Photographique 2, the new paper from Canson Infinity. Normally with these videos, you'll know I like to finish with a little tip or a piece of insight. And today, I'd just like to leave you with a thought about the print process and paper. This thing that I have in my grubby palms is a photograph. And I think it's fair to say that until I actually get this image down on paper, then it lives as an image on a hard drive, on a phone. And I don't know about you guys, but when I watch a movie, I want to watch it on a big screen or at a cinema. I don't want to watch it on my phone. When I listen to music, I want to be at a concert, hearing the sounds surround me. I don't want to listen to it on a phone. So it's fair to say that this will look better than it does on my phone. The print process is critical in the way that I work, and it's the culmination of everything that I've done regarding any particular image. It allows me to get down on paper something that started in here months before, maybe years before, and also it allows me to produce something that other people can now look at and enjoy. A print is a tactile thing, it's almost like a living thing. It's so much easier to pick out these beautiful areas of colour. It's so much easier to take your time and look and try and understand why a photographer has created an image in a certain way. So printing is paramount, and it's perhaps the most important part of the process as far as I'm concerned, because this is the thing that people are going to see. As far as paper goes, we've seen on these videos that I use a few different papers for different reasons. Different papers give me different options for different images, and sometimes people say to me, if I was just going to get one paper, what should I get? And the sort of brutal answer to that is, if you're just going to get one paper, then no doubt the work will look good, because, you know, being reasonable, you can print anything on anything. But there are some of your images that are going to look better on different media that have a slightly different finish, whether it be matte, glossy, speckled, plain, smooth, chunky, textured. So by having one type of paper, you're going to be compromising your work and how you produce your work for others to see. So what you need is something like a print sample paper pack. And Canson make a fantastic sample pack that has 2 sheets each of a whole variety of matte and glossy papers. Now, using these packs, they're A4 size, they're not expensive. Using them is an absolute double. All of the ICC profiles are located on the Canson Infinity website. An ICC profile is just something that tells your printer about how much ink to lay down of each colour that suits this paper. Canson have done all the science. They've made the profiles for your printer so that your printer should work with all of these different papers, 2 different profiles. It takes minutes to download a profile. You could go through the whole pack of sample papers in a morning. And if you think about how much time we all spend travelling, planning, going back time and time again to locations, being in a location for an hour and a half maybe before we press the shutter one morning, because we had to wait for the sun to actually be in play before we could shoot this shot. All of that time and effort, and it pales into insignificance when we can check out maybe 8 or 9 different papers in a morning that will help us portray our work in a different way moving forward. So, biggest piece of advice, get a sample pack, get in touch with, just type online Canson Infinity sample pack and you'll find the outlets where you can get one from. Get the ICC profiles downloaded and give it a go. Until next time, stay safe.